Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on operations management, that invisible, super complex system that's responsible for pretty much everything you buy, use, and eat every single day. So let's start here. What on earth does a legendary rock band like Van Halen have to do with running a business? You might think rock and roll is all about chaos, right? Well, it turns out one of the biggest bands ever was absolutely obsessed with tiny details. And that obsession reveals a crucial lesson in management. You've probably heard the story, right? Van Halen's contract famously demanded a bowl of M&Ms with all the brown ones removed. Sounds like total diva behavior, doesn't it? But it wasn't. It was actually a brilliant operational check. See, if the band saw a brown M&M, they knew the concert promoter hadn't read their super technical contract carefully. And that meant dangerous mistakes could have been made with the lighting, the sound, or even the stage setup. It was a really simple test for a very complex system. And that idea, a simple test for a complex system, it gets right to the heart of a problem every single business faces. And believe it or not, you can see it perfectly in something as familiar as Girl Scout cookies. 200 million. That's how many boxes of cookies are sold each year. We're talking about $800 million in revenue. And all of those cookies have to get from bakeries into the hands of scouts and customers all across the country in just a few short months. I mean, just think about the logistics in a state like Alaska, where cookies have to be flown into remote communities. It is a massive, massive puzzle. And you know, this isn't just a cookie problem. It's universal. Take Mattel, the company that makes Barbie. They realized at one point they were using 150 different shades of red, which was a total nightmare for production. By simplifying, they cut costs and sped everything up. So whether we're talking about rock bands or toys, the goal is always the same. You gotta team that complexity. And the official name for the discipline that tames all this complexity is operations management. At its core, it's really about one thing: figuring out the absolute best way to turn inputs like flour and sugar into outputs like a box of cookies delivered right to your front door.
Now, a huge piece of this puzzle is what's called the supply chain. Think about a simple salad from Wendy's. The blackberries came from one farm, the strawberries from another, the lettuce from somewhere else entirely. The supply chain is that whole coordinated journey, making sure every single ingredient is fresh and ready to go the exact moment you order.
Of course, these principles look a little different depending on the business. I mean, manufacturing a car is not the same thing as giving a haircut. You can't put a haircut in a warehouse, right? And you, the customer, are right there, part of the process. But both the auto factory and the salon still have to manage things like scheduling, quality, and supplies. All right, so how do managers actually solve these problems on the ground? Let's start with the physical puzzle. How do you organize the real-world space where all the work gets done? Okay, so the very first puzzle is layout. The way you physically arrange your workspace has a massive, and I mean massive, impact on efficiency. If you get it right, work just flows smoothly. But if you get it wrong, you create bottlenecks and a ton of wasted time. Businesses generally use one of four main layouts. First, you've got a process layout, where similar tasks are grouped together. A great example is a hospital, where all the X-ray machines are in one department. Then there's the classic product layout, your assembly line, like a Taco Bell, which is just designed for pure speed. Cellular layouts are kind of like mini factories within a factory. And for huge projects, you use a fixed position layout. Obviously, you don't move the airplane. You bring all the people and parts to it.
Okay, the next big physical puzzle is inventory. This is all the stuff a company keeps on hand, from raw materials like steel and flour to finished products waiting to be sold. But the big question is, how much is the right amount?
There's this really powerful way to think about this called the rocks and water analogy. So imagine your inventory is the water in a river. If the water level is high, you can't see the dangerous rocks. Those are your hidden problems on the riverbed. By lowering the water level, or your inventory, you are literally forced to see and fix the problems in your process. And that's exactly why modern companies see inventory as unproductive, or as the slide puts it, evil. It's just cash, tied up in stuff that's sitting there doing nothing. In fact, one CEO famously said that trimming inventory is like finding a big pile of cash. Now, for centuries, solving these puzzles was all about physical space. But today, technology has become the ultimate game changer. It's completely rewritten the rules.
Welcome to the world of advanced manufacturing. Yeah, forget those dusty old factories you're picturing. We're talking about smart, connected facilities where robots and intelligent systems handle tasks and the entire operation is linked digitally, all the way from the suppliers to the customers.
And the benefits are just astounding. A Honda plant, get this, can switch from making a compact car to an SUV in just 5 minutes. A Nissan plant can make 6 different models on the exact same 2 production lines. This also enables what's called mass customization. Think about ordering a computer online built to your exact specifications.
Technology is also the key to this revolutionary inventory strategy called just-in-time, or JIT for short. The goal here is simple: eliminate waste and inventory costs by having materials arrive exactly when they're needed for production and not a single moment sooner. The coordination this requires is just incredible. A shipment of speedometers leaves a supplier in Virginia on a Thursday morning, travels hundreds of miles, and arrives at a theory-specific dock at the Nissan plant in Mississippi at exactly 12:50 p.m. the next day, ready to go straight onto the assembly line. It's like a ballet.
So what ties all of this digital coordination together? Well, it's often a system called ERP. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as the company's central nervous system. It connects every single department, sales, manufacturing, finance, so that everyone is working from the same information in real time.
Okay, so we've looked at complex supply chains, factory layouts, and some really powerful software. But what does all of this behind-the-scenes work actually mean for you? Why should you care? Well, it means everything. The reason you can order a package from Amazon and have it on your doorstep the very next day, that's logistics. The reason you can get fresh strawberries on a salad in the middle of winter, that's a masterfully managed supply chain. Efficient operations cut waste, and that keeps costs down for everyone. Taming complexity is what makes our modern world of convenience even possible. But all this efficiency comes with a pretty big question. These finely tuned, just-in-time systems are built with almost zero slack, zero buffer. The COVID-19 pandemic really revealed their vulnerability. When an unexpected crisis hit, supply chains snapped and store shelves for things like toilet paper and hand sanitizer went empty fast. It forces us to ask a really tough question. In our relentless pursuit of efficiency, have we built systems that are fast and cheap, but maybe, just maybe, dangerously fragile?